Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Um, I would like to share a very sad, tragic story who ended up in a tragic situation. So, um, I would like to share this is because I also have a bad experience with my ex-American husband. Now, this guy is American man. This is an American guy who is from Dallas, Texas, who had just bad and tragic experience um, with the Filipina woman. So, comparing to my bad experience with an ex-American husband, now this American guy, his love story is nothing compared to mine. And this is a learning lesson or lesson learning, or I'm sorry, again, my English is bad, so but I know that American can understand me. And I apologize to those who bash me about my English that they can never really understand. I'm so sorry. I had to speak in English in this story because this is very important that the American man can give their views about, I mean, this is, of course, for them, it's a red flag now because I know that American loves Asian woman, especially a woman from our country, which is the Philippines. So, there is a lot to learn in this love story between American and a Filipina because not all Filipina is the same character um, in this Filipina in this sad tragic story because it's just the same, like it's not the same American guy who have the same character like Mr. Russell in this story. So if I make sense, I'm gonna tell a summary of this sad story because I know it's gonna be long if I had to detail it. Basically, an American guy named Russell from Dallas, Texas. I watched the story, and this story you can watch it on YouTube, and there's a lot of millions Filipino already, and apparently this guy is trending in all social media and YouTube and everywhere. And most Filipinos are already familiar in this story, but to those who have not heard the story, especially Americans, you can watch it on YouTube. I think they labeled the woman as the gold digger. I think there was the perfect word for it, that but it's something about gold digger. So anyway, a man called Russell from Dallas, Texas, dated a Filipina woman whom he met in um, Middle East because she worked in Middle East at the time. So they dated, and in 4 years time frame, he invested so much money into this relationship between him and her. Now, unfortunately, this woman has 4 children who is not even divorced. Well, in the Philippines, we don't have a divorce law. We only have what we call annulment, which is doesn't make sense because it's just the same as divorce. So anyway, now Mr. Russell ordered the Filipina woman or this woman, and he sent money and told her, this is the money, go file your annulment. That never happened. Now, he sent $120,000 to buy a second house. That never happened. He sent another big amount of dollars money to buy a land property. Never happened. So, again, in 4 years' time, I forgot and I don't recall how many times he went to visit the Philippines. I think it only twice. If I am not mistaken, I had to go back again. But anyway, now this time he went to the Philippines because again, first he told the woman to go home to your country in the Philippines so you can take care of your four children, because he feels sorry for her that she is away from her four children. So he said that you can go home and take care of your kids and I will provide for you and the kids. So he did just that. And he sent her the money to buy a house. So they do have a house that she bought but not paid for. So she put in like 3 million pesos. So that's a lot of money in dollars. 3 million is what, like more than 200,000, something like that. And then he gave her money to get like a small business, like to have a convenience store, you know, sari-sari store, what we call it in the Philippines. So again, every time, all the total of $500,000. So then he went to the Philippines, and then he found out that everything is not in order. There was no second house, there was no other, I mean, there is no farmland or any piece of land. Now he is asking her, or was asking her, where the money went. And so, well, she could not confronted him. Instead, she would attempt to kill herself, or she would take a lot of pills of like melatonin or acetaminophen or things like that, so that she can just role play. You know, I mean, the woman has a mental issue as well, as we can see. So anyway, now he has to go to the authority, to the police, to make sense, because he doesn't know what's going on. He's trying to make sense. He cannot comprehend where all this money went, because she could not tell him where the money went. So then one night or one day he told her, well, first when he went to the authorities, he did not get any help from the authorities, because instead the authorities was kind of like you know um, no help for him. So then he told the lady, the woman, okay, you have to show me where this money, you know, all this money, I'm going to show you. We're gonna go to my bank, because I want to show you all the statement of everything that you have taken out in the bank, his bank. So now it is midnight, now it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Then all of a sudden their house was on fire. So the man said every time that he would confront her and ask her where the money went, things happen. Like things just happen in tragic situation. So then this time, their house was on fire at 3 a.m. in the morning. So his passport was on fire, his birth certificate, basically everything that he has, everything that they had in that house was all burnt away. So then he has no other source of help except going to the show that called Rafi Tofo in Action. Basically, it's a show to help people who is been mistreated. So he went there, so now it is in the media. She was exposed to the entire world, into the world of media and social media, and now she was judged by many people into the entire world, judged in the media, and because she could not confront him in person, she could not face him in person. And so, because of the media outcry, and people judge her in her character that she was showing him, so now she have no face to face him, to explain to him everything that happened and what is going on, what happening, and where the money went. She couldn't do it because she have her own demon that taunted her, you know. So she took her life in her own hand because she could not take it anymore with her own uh, embarrassment that she, you know, has to face all the people that judge her on social media and all the people that already bashed her. So she hung herself. Lesson learned. The fire was already in a big, it was already a fire burning, but then the people putting more flame on it. Sometimes we as people, instead of we can help the situation uh, to maybe going to a positive directions, but instead because of our judgment, it went to the dark situation. So there is a lot lesson learning here. The greed, the dishonesty, the betrayal, I mean everything. And as far as Mr. Russell, he cared about the kids. He wants to comfort the kids after the fact that he even went to her burial, and he really wanted to comfort the kids, but he wasn't even allowed to because he was even blamed for everything that happened and her taking her own life. She took her own life in her own hand, and Mr. Russell was the blame for it. Can you imagine? I can only imagine. For you, Mr. Russell, I would like for you to know that maybe God let this thing happen to you because He knows that you have a pure heart and that you have just a kind heart for this family, and not once that this family even appreciated you. And um, because I do believe that horrible things happen to us because God is trying to get our attentions. That's really it. So there is a reason for everything, and I can only imagine what would your Christmas be after you return here in Dallas, Texas. And it is a really really sad story. So guys, for for all the Filipina that are listening and watching to this, um, I hope that this can be also a learning lesson for all of us because you know, greed or selfishness get us nowhere. And unfortunately, this tragic love story, this is supposed to be a happy ending story, but it ended up in a tragic story, love story. So, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that my English makes sense, and I hope that uh, I don't get bashed on this story because this is a real story that happened, and one person is hurting and it's in pain right now. So I pray for the family for healing and peace, especially you, Mr. Russell. I pray for your healing and for God to comfort you, and you know, and God bless you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. God bless to us all.